What's up, everybody? Welcome to Podcast Now. I'm Alex. In this video, I want to talk about DC formally announcing, officially getting out there and announcing their DC fandom. So we're going to talk about what's going to be shown here, and basically, just this is a big win. This is a kind of like a special message out to people. Nothing too fancy in this video, I don't think, but definitely something that I think needs to be said. So remember, a few days ago, actually, I think it was like Thursday, Friday last week, James Sigfield tweeted out, "Hey, there was this rumor that DC was going to do basically this all-in-one event where they're going to show this and that, everything. They're going to show things from movies, they're going to show things from television, they're going to show things from comics, and they're going to show things from games." So he said in parentheses, like, yes, the Batman game. And so we've had that, okay? We've had that information at our disposal for a few days. I know a lot of people have already seen that, and now they've officially confirmed it. So August 22nd at 10 a.m. Pacific time. So this is going to be massive. This is a Saturday, right, in August, late August. This is going to be an amazing thing. We'll have to figure out if we could do anything kind of special for this. Maybe we could do something on Discord. We can do something on Twitter. We can do something on YouTube. I'm really looking forward to seeing what we can possibly do as a community for this event. And I'm sure, obviously, there's going to be tons of videos I make afterwards, of course, and which I'm sure will upset some people. But you know what? That's just the way it is. So we have to move on. Warner Bros. Will launch DC Fandom, a free global online event boasting big announcements and new content from across the DC's TV, movies, games, and comics. Only available for 24 hours, the studio announced Tuesday morning. As of right now, the massive endeavor will include the cast and creators of the following DC titles: Aquaman, The Batman, Batwoman, Black Adam, Black Lightning, DC Superhero Girls, DC's Legends of Tomorrow's, DC Stargirl, Doom Patrol, The Flash, Harley Quinn, and Zack Snyder's Justice League. Lucifer, Pennyworth, Shazam, The Suicide Squad, Supergirl, Superman and Lois, Teen Titans Go, Titans, Watchmen, Young Justice, Outsiders, and of course Wonder Woman 1984. My dear God, right? So I mean, really, and the way they say it, and then it says you can also expect some news from Warner Bros. Games and comics. Look, I think it's going to be funny because people like us are going to be putting so much into this event. We're going to be like, holy Jesus, right? It's going to be absolutely insane. And what's funny is I think in the larger spectrum of things, just because of what this event is to the larger public, it's really actually going to be focused, I think, on other things other than video games. You know what I mean? I'm not saying like, oh my God, they're going to get nothing for video games. No, we're going to get it. So I guess we can run through that, what kind of my predictions for both Batman and Rocksteady. People have asked me about Rocksteady. I absolutely 1000% believe that'll be there. But I just think kind of when all's said and done with the full 24-hour event, or it's only up for 20, however, when we're done seeing it, I think we're going to see, it was like 80% movies, TV, stuff like that, and then like 20% everything else. You know what I mean? But at the same time, this is it. This truly, and again, like I said, we already said this on Thursday or Friday, whatever day it was. I lose track of days because things come out so fast. This truly is the light at the end of the tunnel. I understand if people aren't going to get on the bandwagon because we've been disappointed before. I understand those people. I've said that. I'm sorry for any misunderstanding of the comments in the last video. There's haters out there that hate me, hate the content, stuff like that. That's who I'm talking about. The people that are just not going to jump on this because they, specifically because they don't want to be disappointed. I completely understand. And at the same time, and like I said, this really, I mean, come on. They've confirmed Warner Bros. Games is going. So what in God's name would you be showing from Warner Bros. Games if not Batman? So I guess you could say, well, it's not a Batman game. Or, I don't know, Warner Bros. Montreal canceled their game yesterday and they're rebuilding it from the ground. I mean, you know what I mean? You can come up with all these examples, but at the end of the day, if their gaming division is going to go, and it's going to be focused on DC. And factually we know that Warner Bros. Montreal and even Rocksteady are working on a DC game, right? Different DC game, obviously, but we know they're doing it. How can you not have them show? What else? Is there another Lego game in the works that's a DC game? You know what I mean? There's absolutely no way this doesn't happen. So anybody, I really, it's hard to argue. It's really, I don't want to single anybody out. I don't want to go after people because again, we're all ultimately, and that's what this video and really part of my message as a channel really is. We're all in this together. We all want Batman. We all want to be happy with. I mean, there's the whole discussion afterwards that that maybe the game is just going to suck and it's going to be a big disappointment. I don't know about that yet. I do have a lot of opinions on that, but we'll have to experience that journey together. So there's definitely that talk. But at the same time, we all want the game to be announced. We all want the game to be real. We all want it to do good, right? We all want to have a really good time playing it. So ultimately, we're all in the same boat, and we're all in this fight together. You know what I mean? So Warner Bros. Montreal and that Batman game, I think, are absolutely, it's going to be there. Okay, now again, what do I think we're going to see from it? It really does depend on if it's going to be the first time we see this game. Now, the way that people are talking, and even, I mean, not necessarily people, the way DC, the way that Warner Bros., all this stuff, the way they're talking about this event, it is massive. Like, they're not going into Comic-Con, and I mean, it's because of all the stuff going on around the world too, but it's because they're going to throw this massive shindig, right? This amazing thing that's like the biggest thing you've ever seen, right? And again, a combination of, I mean, literally, it's a DC, a huge event. You know what I mean? So they're talking it up big time. It does make sense that it would be the first time you see these games. It would. At this, and maybe, because we talked about this before, and I think one thing that maybe we could add to it is, now that we have that date, we have August 22nd, I would not be surprised if you want to start to make the argument that Warner Bros. Montreal should do more teasers for the game, now's the time. I don't see, when other than this would there be a time to do it? You know what I mean? This is the only time they have left. They have 2 months. You know, it's June 16th right now. They have a little bit more than 2 months before this thing happens, right? And so, if they're going to do it, this is going to be the time that they're going to do it. At the same time, I also kind of believe that maybe they just won't do it at all. I believe, remember, we've heard rumors that they kind of just dropped it, that they're not going to do it. But so again, it depends on if they're going to do something beforehand. I think as time moves on, and again, the way that they're talking about this event, I would not be surprised if it gets announced at this event. Now, would I want that? No. And in fact, if Rocksteady's going to be there, which again, if they go, Warner Bros., okay, because they're probably going to go to their own event, right? Warner Bros. At this event, if they only announce the Batman game and then they don't do anything for Rocksteady, I feel like that's still, I mean, in one regard for Batman, it's a big thing, and it's going to make a lot of people happy. But in terms of, a management point of view from all these things, it really doesn't make any sense. It goes against all the stuff we've heard in the past of what they were going to do with Rocksteady, with Harry Potter, with Batman. You know what I mean? Because they were going to do all of that this month. They were going to do all, by right now, we would have already have seen these 3 games, right? We've talked about that. So how could you go another 2 months past when you were going to do this, have a DC event, have your 2 studios that make DC games, Rocksteady and Warner Bros. Montreal, I mean, for the specific example, and then do one but not the other. You know what I mean? So I find it next to, and I don't want to say impossible. I don't want to make guarantees because obviously that can come back to bite me later down the line. But I find it nearly impossible that they would let that event go without announcing both. I truly do believe you announce both. Now, but again, the thing is, do you want both of them announced at the same event? It's already possibly, from a larger entertainment point of view, it's going to get overshadowed by everything else because there's like 50,000 movies and TV show things happening, and then there's 2 games. You know what I mean? So just from that, and again, gaming-wise, obviously all eyes are going to be on this Batman game. All eyes are going to be on Warner Bros. Montreal. All eyes, I guess, would also be on Rocksteady, but there's where you add that wrinkle. It goes exactly to what I was saying with we've had those kind of fun discussions of, okay, what do you do at a conference? So if they have like a show, right, if they have an online show, what do you do? How do you balance it? Do you have Warner Bros. Montreal do more? Do you have Rocksteady's just be a teaser? Remember, we talked about that, and we said, like, how does Rocksteady take away from Warner Bros. Montreal, where obviously all eyes are supposed to be on it, but then if Rocksteady does something, what if it one-ups it? And then obviously we know that game comes out later. You don't really want a game that comes out second to be bigger than the game that comes out first. You know what I mean? Even if you look at an example, which is different for sure, but if you look at like what Sony's doing, okay? Even with their first-party games, look at what they've done. In terms of exclusives, they've had Ratchet and Clank, so this new Ratchet and Clank, they've had Spider-Man, and they've had Horizon. But the way they've even done it is it's going to go in order. Don't think that they're going to promote and push Horizon at you harder than Spider-Man, because Spider-Man's coming first. You don't want people, and I get it. And that, by the way, that's an okay example. It's not even the best example because it's not even the same game kind. You know what I mean? For this Warner Bros. Thing, they're the I mean, yes, they'll be different. One could be very multiplayer based, right? Rocksteady's could very well be that. Could be multiple people you're playing as. But yet again, actually, Warner Bros. Montreal, you could play as the Bat Family, right? So, but those two games are going to be very, very similar. They're set in the same universe, right? You don't want the second one to be bigger than the first one. So again, why am I saying all this? Well, I don't know if you want to announce for the first time to the world both of these games at once. I think it makes a lot more sense. Well, firstly, it would make more sense to, if you're going to push both of them, one of them needs to be pushed more. So again, if they're, I don't know to what extent they would do it at this DC event, right? But if I were them, and if I had to announce both games at once, I'm making sure that Batman gets more. I'm making sure it's a longer trailer. I'm making sure that maybe you have a gameplay thing to go along with it that you release online. You know what I mean? Something like that. I'm making sure that there's more for Batman than Rocksteady. And again, from what we've talked about in the past, all these conflicting reports of when the game is going to release. If it's releasing in 2020, which again seems less and less likely as the months go on, especially if you're going to announce it August 22nd, you're probably not going to release it this year. Okay, it'd be very, very unlikely, not impossible, but it would be very, very unlikely. But even if it comes out January, February, not a lot of time. So I still think am I expecting it to be announced for the first time August 22nd? Honestly, yes. Is that kind of the pessimistic point of view? Yeah, and you could be saying, "Oh my God, you've changed a lot." I mean, honestly, but here's the wrinkle to that: is I'm hoping it gets announced before then. I want it to get announced before then. I want something in July. I want something next week. You know what I mean? Late June, sometime in July, early August. You know what I mean? I want something then to say this Batman game is real and we're going to show you more at this event. And then Rocksteady, for the first time, they can show it at that event. You know what I mean? That's what I would prefer. Is that what I think we're going to get? I don't think so. I actually don't think so. What I will say, though, is as August goes on, I could definitely see things ramping up. Now that we have a date, an official date, that we know that video games in the DC department of Warner Bros. Is going to, I find it next to impossible that August goes by without teases. Keep an eye on Rocksteady. Keep an eye on Warner Bros. Montreal. You know, again, will they do the teaser images? Will they continue those? Maybe, maybe not. But I find it, again, next to impossible that they're going to let August go by with them going to be there August 22nd without doing some teases, right? Saying, again, cryptic, non-cryptic, maybe it's actually very direct, like we have some big things coming at the end of the month, you know what I mean? There can be a lot of things that they do. It's very exciting. It's very, very exciting. I know before it was only a rumor. Now it's absolutely confirmed, and we know Warner Bros. Games is going, so there's really no arguing it at this. Again, is it a Batman? I mean, I guess you could still argue it just for the sake of arguing, and again, maybe you don't want to get on the hype train because you don't want to be disappointed, but I mean, I think the world would be shocked if this game wasn't there, okay? If Rocksteady's game wasn't there, I think it would be maybe a little less shock for Rocksteady because I don't think a lot of people are paying attention to them, but people still are, okay? So guys, let me know in the comments below, what do you think? You guys excited? What do you think is going to be there in terms of Rocksteady's game, in terms of Warner Bros. Montreal? Do you think Batman will get announced before then and then shown more, on that date? Let me know your thoughts in the comments below. I didn't expect to make this video today. I actually expected to make a video, I believe, tomorrow, so things are obviously shifted a little bit. There'll be a video every couple days. With that being said, there's a lot of different videos coming to the channel later this week with EA Play, with The Last of Us, lots of games releasing over the next little while, so there's going to be a lot of different videos, not as many, I think, and we don't even make that many Batman videos, but they'll be out every couple days. Just make sure you're checking with the channel, you're subscribed, you have the bell icon turned on, all that good stuff, and I do, I say that sincerely because we do have a lot of, so many different kinds of videos that come up, just so you guys know when the video that you want to see pops up, right? So again, thank you guys so much for watching. I truly, truly appreciate it. Like I always say, light is definitely there. Light is definitely at the end of the tunnel. We're almost there. We have another possibly 2 months, which is a while, but at the same time, we've waited a lot longer, right? So we're all in this together. Cannot wait, and we'll talk about this, right, to experience this with you, and I will see you guys on the next video.